Welcome to today's video, which is going to be about how to recognize an evil shaman. An evil shaman or facilitator is a person that has their own interests above those of the people that are coming to be served, to be taken care of. The truth is that in the ayahuasca community or industry, however you want to call it, there's a lot of this. There's a lot of people, men and women, who get very greedy. They get a power trip and an inflated ego from working with a plant that is so powerful, like ayahuasca. And we see this in all kinds of professions where there is power involved. We see this with the priests in religion. All kinds of religions, they've done the worst atrocities. We see this with politicians, in the medical field, among police officers, even in normal day-to-day work settings. People abuse their power because their humanity is a little corrupted, or because they're still very unconscious and they get consumed by it. So how do you recognize and how to know if the person that you're going to sit to drink medicine with, or that you're considering to sit and drink medicine with, is actually one that's not going to bring you into a darker place, or traumatize you more, or break your mind in a way that it's not going to be conducive to a more beautiful experience of life. So there are three things that I want you to look out for. The first one is the way that a person smiles. When someone who carries a lot of, I don't want to call it evil, but it's just a lot of unconsciousness, a lot of self-centeredness, when they smile, they look a little sinister. The way that their eyes and their face turns is concerning. It does not inspire beauty, joy, grace, love. Maybe it inspires fear, worry, closure. The opposite is also true. If you've ever seen a baby smiling, or if there's someone that you follow along your spiritual journey or in your journey of growth, someone that you trust and you think they're very good people, when they smile, there's this sense of comfort, this sense of peace that is transmitted, this sense of love. So number one, pay attention to how they smile, because when someone smiles, you can tell towards what side their energy is leaning. If their smile brings you joy and makes you more happy, or makes you feel more fulfilled just to be in their presence, it's probably a good shaman. If on the other hand, they smile and they look a little creepy, a little weird, then it's probably important that you pay more attention to the next 2 points. So number one, the way they smile. Number two, how do they relate? How do they treat the people that they work with? Because it's very easy to put on a facade for the attendees. There's a new retreat, they've never met you before, they have nothing against you, hopefully. You have nothing against them. You're paying them, so they have a lot of reasons for you to keep coming or to treat you well. But maybe they have very ill intentions underneath. And it's the same when you go dating a new person, you bring out the best in you. You're charming, you're sweet, you're patient. But once you are married to them, you bring out the worst. The ugliness comes out, unfortunately for most people. It's the same with the shaman. So you want to pay attention to how they communicate and how they relate to those who have been around for a long time. And it's usually their team of assistants. The key distinction that you want to make is, are they leading through inspiration or through fear? When they talk to other people, are they doing so in a way that is like punitive, like punishing, labeling, judging, shaming? Or are they doing so with love? Are they expecting for everything to get done for them? Or are they also working in ensuring that the space and things are ready? Because a leader also inspires through what they do, not just through telling people what they should do and what they shouldn't. So this is the point number two. If you notice that they talk to the people that serve them, the people that are working for them, if you notice that they're yelling, that they're grumpy, that they are ugly in their treatment, if you see that people seem scared of them, perhaps even talking a little bit behind their back, then it's probably a shaman that has not learned to deal with others in a loving way and to lead their own team in a loving way. So what makes you think they're gonna lead you or deal with you in a loving way? Maybe they will because you're paying and you're new, but if you keep on coming back, which is the case when you drink ayahuasca at a place where there's ill intentions to have endless paying customers, you will experience that. There's a lot of these everywhere, so pay close attention. Now finally, and perhaps one of the most important points of this video is, are they claiming to be the ones healing you? Are they trying to take the center of the stage? Or do they recognize and do they speak about healing being a process that they support, but that ultimately depends on you? And more than that, are they giving themselves importance, or are they giving importance to ayahuasca, to the plant medicine? And this is where you know where someone stands, because when we refer to someone as being evil, usually it's not that they're evil, it's that they're very self-centered. It's that they're willing to cross boundaries, it's that they're willing to step over other people to please themselves, right? This is what we define as evil. Someone that is willing to do with nature, with you, with others, what they please, even if they hurt them, as long as they fulfill their own desires. So that means that their experience of life is centered around their own compulsions, their own desires, their own wants, needs. And an evil shaman is someone who has his own needs and his own desires and ambitions first. And usually, 99% of the time, this shows as a self-aggrandizing behavior, almost like a messianic, like they think they're the messiahs, kind of personality. They walk like they're floating and they talk to you like they have the answers to all your problems. Like you need to come and I'm gonna heal you. I'm gonna cure you from something. Steer away from someone that promises you things in this way. Because if I tell you I'm gonna cure you from your mental illness, maybe I do. And then maybe you become anxious and depressed in 1 year. And you come back to me because I cured you. I made you dependent. I didn't heal you. Maybe I healed you from your anxiety and your depression. But now you have a worse sickness, which is the sickness of not being able to rely on yourself. The sickness of being dependent on me, on somebody else, for you to be at peace. And I can milk that sickness endlessly. An honest shaman, a good shaman, first and foremost, he lets you know that healing, it's on your hands. That the medicine is a tool. That the temple and that his work is very supportive. It will help you move a lot of energies. It will give you a big push in the right direction. But ultimately you are in charge. It will also let you know that he's not doing the work. He drinks the medicine and it is the medicine acting through him. Ultimately God, the source of creation, a higher intelligence is guiding him and this plant to support you in your own healing journey. But they're not healing you. So steer away from anyone that claims to have powers. I received a message recently of a woman who was told consistently by the shamans in her ayahuasca circle, somewhere in Europe, that she was not in the same level as them. They kept telling her like, oh, you just started this, like you have to listen and pay attention and obey. Like we're not on the same level, we're not equal. Like they're playing a power game, almost in the same way that you will see in some cults. There's a lot of hierarchies. A loving shaman has no need to establish a hierarchy. Why? Because it raises naturally. People want him to lead because they see that he is the wisest, he's the most loving, he is the most conscious. So he has no need to impose, to put other people down. So if the shaman that you're intending to be or that you're sitting, drinking medicine with, speaks too much about themselves and their power and their healing capacity and what they can do that you can't do, I would say is not a good person for you. An honest shaman knows that he is nothing but a tool, and so is the medicine. And ultimately these are tools that help you come to your own power and your own ability and understanding of how to heal yourself. So this is all for today. Reminder, pay attention to their smile. Do they look sinister or do they inspire love? Number two, how do they treat the people that are around them, the people that work for them? Are they kind? Are they good leaders? Or do they lead by fear? And finally, Are they making it about themselves, about their powers, their healing journey? When you come in conversation with them, is it a conversation about me? Or do they listen? Do they pay attention to you? Do they care about you? And do they tell you that they're not doing anything, that it is just the medicine working through them? I hope this was useful once again. And if you're ever interested in attending retreats with us in Colombia, you can find the links below. There's also a program on preparing and integrating ayahuasca ceremony. If you're not coming to Colombia, but you're drinking medicine or you're thinking of doing so, I have compiled what I've learned after hundreds of ceremonies. A lot of those that went bad, quote unquote, had some bad trips, some rough experiences, and everything that I could have done, that I wish I had done differently, but I didn't, is there. Lessons from some of the most respected shamans in Colombia, South America, and everything, so that you can have a deep and safe journey, not have bad trips, or at least reduce the likelihood that they happen. And if they happen, a very comprehensive course on how to integrate, how to make sure that it doesn't stay just as one fun experience, as a one fun psychedelic retreat weekend, and that your life stays the same. So how do I make sure that my life actually transforms? If this sounds of interest to you, check the links below and like and subscribe as always. We'll talk soon.